You may know them for their wood glues, but did you know Titebond also has a complete selection of construction adhesives? Designed for a variety of applications, Titebond's adhesives make any building or home improvement project a breeze with their high-performing and durable formulas. These adhesives are trusted by the professional, providing squeak-free subfloor installations, long-lasting retaining walls, and even fastener-free feature walls. Check out Titebond's construction adhesives at titebond.com, including their newest award-winning adhesive, Tight Grab Plus. Our first question comes from Eric. Hey, FHB Podcast. What's a good simple solution to patch drywall above a fiberglass shower unit? The mud is poking out a bit and it'll have to be sanded down. I don't want to do all the drywall above the shower at this point. Re-plaster, paint, and do it again in a few years. Special waterproof coating on that area. Thanks for the great show and advice. Eric, Ian, you thought you had a solution to this. What would you do?
Well, I think I have a cheap and easy DIY solution. In this case, if Eric doesn't want to go all the way and pull the drywall out, redo it, and try and do a better job, maybe put tile up there or something like that. I think you got to go to Durabond and skim coat the whole thing in Durabond. Maybe you sand off or scrape off everything that's there. Forget about putting the texture back on. I've seen a lot of plasters do really nice work with Durabond by putting down some mesh behind it first. You can kind of screed the whole area off nicely with a wide knife, sand it back, and just repaint it. And if it happens again, and do it again in a couple of years. I think this is one of those items where, as a DIYer, you can either do a simple fix that maybe isn't going to look exactly the way you'd hoped it would, or you go all the way. And I think those are really your two choices in this instance. Is I think if you just try and fix and just do a superficial patch to what he's got, you're going to be doing that year after year after year.
Grant, you were nodding when Ian was saying to use Durabond, which is something I was going to suggest too. What's your plan for this?
Yeah, I think you read my mind. Pretty much exactly what I was going to say. One question I do have for Eric is there a vent fan in the bathroom?
Excellent question.
Looking at some of the pictures, I don't know if it's as much. A lot of it looks like some peeling paint. It's hard to tell how much of the drywall is actually damaged. But you also have to remember it looked like a multi-piece flange unit for the surround. Those get real weird when you mud them originally anyway with the drywall coming up to them.
Yeah, because the flange is like a quarter of an inch thick, right?
Yeah, so a lot of times it's kind of just chiseled out, made to fit, whatever. I would do exactly like Ian said. I would skim it. I'd do it with a setting compound or a Durabond. Durabond, ideally. The only thing remember is Durabond basically can't be sanded, so be careful with it, depending on where you put it.
You can with a power sander.
With a power sander, you can. Yeah. I've seen painters sand it with a random orbit sander.
Yeah. Really it's hard though. Paper. It's hard to sand it.
And it, depending on which Durabond product you buy, that's quick.
Yeah. Like Durabond 90 should really be like Durabond 90, but it's really like 20.
Durabond 90
so
minus
the numbers,
70.
I learned this well into my career. The numbers correspond to when you're supposedly allowed to recoat it, not to its working time, and not to when it's fully dry.
It's pot time.
Yeah.
But to Ian's point as well, I probably wouldn't mess with trying to redo that knockdown texture. And that's the issue you're going to have. If you try to do any patch that's not the full wall, you're going to have a hard time matching that texture. So I would just skim it all flat.
I thought of a third simpler solution while you guys were talking, and that's like sheets of PVC that you cut and fit and put right over that whole situation and have a soft caulk joint at the bottom and maybe glue it in place so you don't have any fasteners. And I think that would at least buy you some time, and it might not look too terrible if you painted it. What do you think?
That's a winner of an idea. Just get in your truck, go down to Menards, get a couple of sheets of RFP and some little corner joint moldings and stick it up there.
That's what we do in Greenwich.
I was I was thinking that too. As long as it's not an active moisture problem, like don't do that if there's mold and everything stuck back there. If it's moldy
rotting,
drywall
yeah.
that's mushy. If you peel back that paint, the drywall looks solid. It's a peeling paint problem. You could certainly use, like Patrick said, a PVC. There's also a lot of PVC, almost like tile looking panels out there now. I know we saw one at IBS. I think it was called like 6-3 tile or something like that. There's a bunch of other people who make them. They sell them at Home Depot as well, Lowe's. They're definitely a situation here where a DIY could do it because it's really just a decorative treatment, but it's certainly something to look into. There's a lot of different, I think there's PVC B boards they make too, if you're into that look. Shiplap PVC is one. Like, there's all kinds of stuff, but it's definitely something to look into, and you could glue it up there. And
get a little Magnolia Channel PVC shiplap going on up there.
Amen.
There you go.
Give ode to the Gaineses.
Not a sponsor.
I can't say anything. I actually like shiplap a lot, and I have a lot of shiplap in my house. So
I do too.
I can't.
Just keep that to yourself, please.